convenient. That was the word she used. Not partner. Not husband. Not the man I love. Just convenient. We were sitting on the back porch one evening. It was late summer, the air heavy and warm, a glass of wine in her hand. I had just finished mowing the lawn, sweating through my shirt, and I sat down across from her, proud of how the yard looked. "You take care of everything around here," she said, staring into her glass. I smiled, thinking it was a compliment. "Well, someone's got to." But then she added, almost absent-mindedly, "That's why you're convenient." The smile froze on my face. Convenient. She shrugged, like it wasn't a big deal. "I mean, you're reliable. You fix things. You pay the bills on time. You make life easier. You're just convenient." She said it as if that's all I was. Not loved. Not admired. Not chosen. Just convenient. That word echoed in my head all night. When I cooked dinner, I thought about it. When I packed her lunch for work, I thought about it. When I folded her laundry and put it neatly on her side of the bed, I thought about it. Convenient. Like I was a service she subscribed to. A background character keeping the lights on and the water running while she lived the life she wanted. It wasn't rage that settled in me that night. It was clarity. Because if she truly thought I was only convenient, maybe it was time to remind her of something. Convenience can walk away. And when it does, it becomes impossible to replace. I didn't say a word. I didn't argue. But deep down, I knew she was going to regret ever calling me that. The morning after she called me convenient, I didn't bring it up. Didn't argue. Didn't ask her to explain. I just got up, made my own coffee, and left for work without making her usual cup. It was small, almost unnoticeable. But I noticed. And so did she. "Forgot my coffee?" she asked as I grabbed my keys. I smiled faintly. "Guess I'm not that convenient today." The way her face tightened told me she remembered her words. That became my approach. Not loud, not angry, quiet. At dinner, I didn't rush to clear her plate anymore. When something broke, I didn't drop everything to fix it right away. When she texted me in the middle of the day asking me to pick up something on the way home, sometimes I didn't. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't spiteful. I was just absent. And for the first time, she started noticing what my presence had really meant. Meanwhile, I was preparing. I opened a separate bank account, began moving money into it slowly, carefully. I found a small storage unit across town, and every week, another box disappeared from the house: tools, old clothes, books, pieces of me that she would only notice when they were gone. And I started focusing on myself again, long hours at the gym, reconnecting with old friends, finding hobbies I had long abandoned. I wasn't her handyman anymore. I wasn't her safety net. I was becoming a man she wouldn't recognize. And that was exactly the point. It didn't take long for her to react. "You've been different lately," she said one night as I closed the garage door. I shrugged. "Am I? You don't do the little things anymore." I looked her dead in the eye. "Maybe you got used to the little things too much." Her lips parted like she wanted to argue, but no words came. The irony was cruel. The more I pulled away, the harder she tried. She cooked dinner more often. She wore dresses around the house instead of sweats. She reached for my hand when we sat on the couch. But none of it mattered. Because once you've been told you're only convenient, every gesture afterward feels hollow. She thought she could patch over her words with smiles and perfume. But convenience doesn't forget. And I wasn't going to let her. She didn't know it yet, but I was already building a life without her. And when the day came, she would realize just how inconvenient losing me really was. By the end of the month, the house felt different. Not because of anything obvious, but because she had started to notice the absence. The absence of me. The man who once filled every gap, fixed every problem, carried every weight, wasn't there anymore. And for the first time, she looked uneasy. It started with questions. "You're quiet lately. Where do you go after work? Why don't you eat with me anymore?" I gave short answers. Calm. Steady. Nothing she could fight against. "I'm busy. Out. Not hungry." The less I gave, the more frantic she became. She tried harder after that. She started planning little date nights, cooking more often, and even put her phone down during dinner. One Saturday morning, she surprised me with tickets to a show I'd mentioned months ago. I thought it might be fun. Just the two of us, she said, forcing a smile. I thanked her, took the tickets, and placed them neatly on the counter. I'll think about it. Her smile faltered. Meanwhile, I was finishing my preparations. The storage unit was nearly full: clothes, tools, keepsakes, everything that mattered to me. The separate bank account had more than enough to carry me for months. And the lease on the apartment was signed, the keys already in my pocket. Piece by piece, I had built my exit. All that remained was timing, because it wasn't enough to leave. I wanted her to feel it, to feel the silence, to feel the absence of the man she once called convenient, to realize that convenience had a cost, and she had already paid it. By now, her desperation was showing. She followed me into the garage one night, arms crossed, her voice breaking as she asked, "Why are you doing this? Why are you so distant?" I looked up from my workbench, met her eyes, and said, "I'm just giving you what you asked for. You wanted convenient. I'm making it inconvenient." Her eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, she looked afraid of losing me. But fear wasn't enough to stop me, because I knew something she didn't. Her regret had already begun, and soon it would be permanent. It happened on a Tuesday night. She said she was going out for drinks with coworkers. She dressed nicer than usual, hair curled, lipstick on, perfume strong enough to fill the hallway as she walked out the door. I didn't question her. I didn't stop her. I just followed. She didn't drive toward the bars near the office. She drove across town to a quiet restaurant I'd never seen her mention before. I parked a few spaces away and waited. Minutes later, a man walked in, confident, smiling. He spotted her immediately. And the way she lit up when she saw him, the way she reached across the table, fingers brushing his, was all the confirmation I needed. She hadn't called me convenient because she misspoke. She called me that because, to her, that's all I ever was. She already had something else. Someone else. I didn't storm in. Didn't cause a scene. That would have given her power. That would have made me look small. Instead, I drove home. Calm. Cold. Certain. And I acted. By the time she stumbled in near midnight, her heels in her hand, the house was already half empty. My clothes. My books. My tools. Gone. My side of the closet bare. The garage shelves cleared. On the kitchen counter sat an envelope. Inside were the signed divorce papers. And a note, just one line. "You said I was convenient. Now you'll see how impossible I am to replace." I imagined she stood there, staring at the empty spaces, realizing too late what she had lost. That the man who fixed everything, carried everything, provided everything, had finally walked away. And this time, there was nothing left to fix.